An abundance of evidence now sits in our faces that President Trump has been trading American interests for his personal interests. The text messages show that the whole apparatus of American diplomacy knew the deal. Trump would deliver U.S. goodwill if and only if a foreign government delivered dirt on his political enemies. The prime question now is whether the United States Congress will proceed to its duty under the Constitution and hold this president accountable. Those opposed to a judgment will exploit, no doubt, every opportunity to delay and ultimately prevent a congressional verdict on the president's conduct. The goal of such delays will be not justice or constitutional rule, but their denial. Knowing this, Speaker Pelosi is wise to keep the focus tight on those presidential activities that clearly reveal abuse of power. If there is a member of Congress who believes it is legitimate for a president to demand dirt on a partisan rival as a price for administering his office in the country's interest, that member of Congress should say so. But let his or her colleagues render their own judgment as well. I'm confident that few Americans think it is legitimate or constitutional for a president to sell out his interest, U.S. interests, in what's now been clearly documented as a sleazy, desperate search for anything that could force people into voting for the incumbent president. What's important now is committed action and a House of Representatives schedule that gets impeachment decided while it can be decided, a drive that this president and his allies will use every tactic to stall and eventually kill.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.